A world that is increasingly worried about the atmosphere that is far saturated by greenhouse gases emitted by anthropogenic activities is looking forward to every possible means to slow down the trajectory of a warming planet. The role of carbon-absorbing forests, especially tropical rainforests, in regulating climate has never been more important.
Protecting the remaining forested areas which lie in the territories of developing countries has regained international attention and is thrust into the forefront of the battle to reverse the planetary emergency. Malaysia has made out of 13 states and 3 federal territories spread across 2 huge landmasses. Peninsular Malaysia is made out of 11 states and 2 territories, whereas East Malaysia, commonly known as Malaysia Borneo, which consists Sarawak and Sabah, as well as 1 federal territory.
Unfortunately, according to a new global forest map built in collaboration with Google, Malaysia has the world's highest rate of forest loss between the year 2000 and 2012. Malaysia's total forest loss over this period is 14.4% of its forest cover in the year 2000.
Nowadays, because of consumer demands, many forests were cleared to establish new palm oil plantations. 3% of global deforestation occurs by this method. Palm oil is now the most widely used oil in the world other than soybean oil and coconut oil. This is because it is a super efficient oil product, meaning a lot of things can be produced like food, household cleaner, personal care, and cosmetics. But the way it was grown is unsustainable. In order to grow the palm oil tree, they need to clear the land and rows of rainforests are burned, destroying the habitat and the fragile rainforest ecosystem. It is a double conflict for the climate because trees help in remove carbon from the air are destroyed and storage properties were removed forever from them. And when the forest is burned, high level of carbon dioxide were released, and this is a huge contributor to the climate change.
Illegal logging is broadly recognized as one of the most critical causes of deforestation. Malaysia has defined illegal logging as any activities that include offences relating to logging without a permit and logging outside a licensed area. The main aim of illegal logging is to take the timber out from the forest without paying its due charges to the government. Next, I will show you a few pictures of illegal logging cases that happen in Malaysia. So the first picture is from Commercial Forest Reserve near Bentong in Pahang. There was a 5-ton truck used to move logs and was also believed to be producing some timber. The second case happened in Jengker Forest Reserve Pahang. The third picture happened in Kelantan, and the last one is from Tuladang Hills near Ipoh. You can see that a lot of cases about illegal logging happen in our country because of the high quality species of trees as well as large size trees that the forests have. People have been chopping down trees and extracting it illegally from these forests. The most direct impact is the livelihood of indigenous communities and villagers living near woods who depend on the forest for their daily requirements and social economic activities. A lot of species will be decreased due to deforestation has negatively affected biodiversity. More and more species will be extinct as a result of this behavior. Animals that live and depend on forest vegetation for food will eventually die of hunger.
One of the most concerned issues is soil erosion and flooding. Each year, we will be hearing and reading this kind of news of the natural disaster that happen throughout places in Malaysia, where soil erosion rapidly occurs and has affected the biodiversity badly. When there is soil erosion, flood will come after it. The effect of soil erosion go beyond the loss of fertile land. It has led to increased pollution and sedimentation in streams and rivers, clogging these waterways and causing declines in fish and other species. And degraded lands are also often less able to hold on to water, which can worsen flooding.
A road cuts through pristine rainforest to give a community access to the city. A dam creates a reservoir to provide fresh water to a growing town, and a platform that is miles from the shoreline gives access to oil reserves deep below from the ocean floor. These are all the examples of infrastructure, which refers to the physical structure that support modern society. The fast expansion of cities, for the most part, occurs without any land use planning strategy in place, and the accompanying human pressure has devastating consequences on forests, landscape, and green areas in and around cities. The environmental implications of urbanization are frequently exacerbated by climate change and include increased pollution, decreased food and resource availability, and a reduction in biodiversity. To be specific, the road across the jungle may split habitat or cut off an endangered species migration route. It is possible that the dam drained water from freshwater areas that were already suffering from a drought, and the oil platform spill may have killed marine life and polluted the coast.
After ocean, forests are the world's largest storehouses of carbon. They provide ecosystem services that are critical to human welfare. Rainforests help to stabilize the world climate by absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Scientists have shown that excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere from human activity is contributing to the climate change. Therefore, rainforests have an important role in moderating the climate change. But when rainforests are chopped down and burned, the carbon stored in them is released into the atmosphere, causing the climate change.
Forest provides an important role that cannot be overestimated, from the oxygen we breathe to providing a home for animals and livelihood for humans. It is a significant ecosystem for biodiversity. As mentioned before, many poor communities around the world rely on local biodiversity for a range of essential services. These include materials for housing and clothing, food from a range of wildlife species, and traditional medicines derived from local plants and animals. One thing is certain, the more we discover about biodiversity, the more we recognize how important it is to the rest of the planet.
The reason why we are urged to prevent deforestation because it weakens and degrades the soil. It is important to know that one of the roles of plants in ecosystem is to prevent soil erosion from occur. Forested soils are usually not only richer on organic matter, but also more resistant to erosion, bad weather, and extreme weather events. This is because the forests help minimize the impact of storms and flood by controlling soil erosion, as tree roots make the soil stronger. This happens mainly because roots help fix tree in the ground, and the sun-blocking tree cover helps the soil to slowly dry out. When it rains, trees absorb and store a large amount of water with the help of their roots. When they are cut down, the flow of water is disrupted and the soil loses its ability to retain water. It leads to floods in some areas and drought in others.
Trees make life more pleasant. City forestry programs work toward giving greater vitality to neighborhoods and a unique character to the community. In turn, this attracts and retains residents and desirable industries, increasing both property values and the tax base. A well-managed city forestry program contributes to the well-being of the community through the beauty of trees. proper selection of tree species, routine inspection, knowledgeable running and maintenance, control of insects and diseases, and the timely removal of dangerous or dead trees. These are some of the ways city forestry programs provide for public safety and protect people and property from falling limbs or trees. Just like the national level, Malaysia states also have forestry laws and policies that licensees must abide by to harvest from PFE. For example, in Sabah, there are several key legislations that govern forest management and conservation at the state level. They are designed to be in accordance with existing forest ecosystems, appropriate to the scale and commensurate with the intensity of forest management for the area. The key legislations include Forest Enactment 1968, Wildlife Conservation Enactment 1997, Biodiversity Enactment 2000, and Environmental Impact Assessment (EIA) Guidelines for Logging and Forest Clearance Activities 2002.
Other ways is to avoid using products that contain palm oil ingredients. The huge demand for the world's most used and efficient oil is leading to the illegal deforestation, especially in Asia. Instead of using palm oil ingredients, try changing to a homemade approach with fewer chemicals and food preservatives. It is better for your planet and also for your health too. Also, read your labels before buying your groceries at the store. You can do a quick check from your favorite search engine and they will turn out which is a palm oil free alternatives. Other than that, bear in mind that nearly half of US import of palm oils is used for biofuels, which are very polluting. So instead of using your car, choose to move around by your foot or by bike and use public transportation more often. It is a double problem solved. You will be helping not only to slow down the deforestation but fight climate change too.
A forest can be planned in a variety of ways. The most straightforward way to restore a forest is reforestation. It can be either we leave it to in nature or we replanting the trees on the land that previously had trees but has been destroyed or damaged for the benefits of mankind. Forests occasionally can renew themselves due to the presence of nearby trees or the dispersal of seeds. Forest lands that have been severely damaged, on the other hand, cannot be regenerated unless native plants are planted.
Deforestation can also be counteracted through awareness and sensitization. Sensitization and educative campaigns can be a simple but a more workable solution. Initiating awareness creation campaigns make it easy for people to detect causes, effects, and ways of counteracting deforestation. Thus, making conscious efforts to share information with people including family, friends, colleagues, and the entire community on deforestation and its effect is an appropriate measure of standing up in unison to combat the clearing of forests.
One of the most common solutions for this problem is urban forestry. In cities where air pollution and water management can pose public health issues, urban forests provide crucial ecosystem services, including as air and water filtering, which are critical to healthy human communities. Green space proximity has been linked to enhanced physical well-being, healthy behaviors, and even psychological well-being, according to research.
There was a time when the earth was full of forests, but as time passed by, we can see the cover area of forests has reduced drastically. We know deforestation is a major issue in the world today, and it is an important issue to be discussed as forests provide us economic, social, and environmental benefits. Forests are chopped down for a variety of causes. One is to gain economically from furniture and house construction.
We all indeed need space to live in. With the ever-increasing population and urbanization, there has been a greater need to clear the land and cutting down the trees. This is a major trend that has been going on for years. However, We must accept that we depend on forests and we cannot survive without it. We all know trees provide several benefits such as oxygen, absorbing toxic carbon dioxide, and providing a variety of items that we use in our everyday lives.
There will be no life on Earth if tree was not here. We should do our part to conserve trees and limit deforestation. Many of us disregard nature and take ecosystem services for granted, forgetting that we are completely reliant on it for our life. An idiom said, "What goes around comes around," is such an example we can learn as we have already witnessed the effects and consequences of our actions toward nature.
Loss of forest resources transcends national boundaries and affects the entire planet. Governments, NGOs, intergovernmental panels, and the like must work more closely to resolve pressing issues facing the forest. In many cases, a collaborative approach will provide a solution which is more acceptable to all parties and more robust than a solution that is developed unilaterally. Together, we can make a difference to this world.
What a wonderful world.